Good morning, everyone. Well, it's World Book Day today, as you all know, and I have got a book to share with you. Now, I have read this book before. It's called Never Show a T-Rex a Book. Okay. Now, some of you older ones might be thinking, why on earth is Mrs. Darwin reading this to us? It's a picture book. It's actually a really fabulous book. And it kind of shows how important reading is. You all know how much I love reading. I read everything. Every night before I go to bed, I read, and I always used to when I was little. And to be honest, the more you read, the better everything is. You know, wherever you go, you're always reading. You're reading signs, you read when you go into a shop. Everything revolves around reading. So once you're able to read, what you need to be doing is reading things that you're interested in. Okay. I kind of get that some of the reading books, the scheme reading books, are not that interesting. But once you have reached a level where you can read all of those, you can then choose books from the library. You can choose books that you're interested in. It could be anything: football, space, stories, fantasies, anything, whatever you're interested in. And the most important thing is what we call reading for pleasure. So read things that you want to read, and that's how your vocabulary gets better, your writing gets better, and absolutely everything. So can you imagine what would happen if you shared a T-Rex a book? Let's have a look. I'll show you the pictures first. Okay. It says, never show a T-Rex a book. Just imagine if you do. Well, she won't know what to do with it, will she? She'll probably think it's a hat, or a pillow, or a biscuit. So you'll have to sit down and teach her how to read. And if you teach her how to read, she'll get all excited and want to read even more. So you'll have to sneak her into the library. Can you see? There she goes into the library. And if you take her to the library, she'll want to borrow lots of books. Lots of books, because she is a big T-Rex. Yeah, just look at all those books she's taken. I used to get 4. That was enough for me. Books about space and pirates and jungles and dragons. Books about cooking. Books about music. Books about numbers, and books about fancy, complicated things that look very important. Okay, I don't know whether you can see all the pictures very well here. I'll have to send the book round. And if you borrow all of those books, you'll have to hide all of them and the T-Rex in your room so your parents don't find out, or you'll be in big trouble, won't you? And see there, she's trying very, very desperately to hide all those books and the T-Rex. And when everyone's gone to sleep, you'll have to sit up all night reading with her. There they are under the covers. You see them there. And the next day, you'll have to do it all over again. And again. And again. Imagine that. Just imagine reading, reading, reading again. And if you read all of those books, you're going to get very, very sleepy. And she is going to get very, very clever. There she is. She's looking very clever because she's reading all these books, because that's what makes you clever. The more you read, the cleverer you are. And if she becomes very, very clever, she might just decide that she's bored of just being a dinosaur. She might decide that she'd prefer to be an artist, a doctor, a professor. You can see those there. An architect, a computer scientist, an astronaut. Wow. Or even the Prime Minister. So I think the Prime Minister got to be the Prime Minister because they're very clever. And if she becomes the Prime Minister, what do you suppose she'll do next? The first thing she'll do is pass some new laws. Everyone knows that dinosaurs love watching films, so she'll invite all her friends and make sure they have bigger seats at the cinema and bigger tubs of popcorn. And no more roofs on buses and libraries everywhere. Lots and lots and lots of libraries everywhere. Of course, she'll want to make sure that all her friends learn how to read too. They probably won't all fit in your bedroom, will they? Imagine what will happen next. You'll just have to take them to school with you. That'll be interesting. Just imagine your classroom full of all those dinosaurs. School of dinosaurs, lovely. And if they all learn to read and they all become really, really clever, there'll be just no stopping them. They will be everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Can you imagine? Look at all those. You have dinosaur police, dinosaur nurses and doctors, just dinosaurs everywhere because they'd all be clever. All that simply because you once showed a T-Rex a book. Right. That's enough imagining for one day. But there's nothing to stop you imagining something completely different tomorrow. So that whole story was just that little girl climbing into bed and reading herself a book and imagining, because there's nothing better than just to imagine, okay? Anything can happen when you imagine it. That's the beauty of reading and the beauty of writing, because when you write a story, you can make anything happen in that story, okay? So remember, reading is key to everything. Read, 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 and read some more, but read for pleasure. That's the way forward. Thank you, everyone.